Hello, my name is Grant Rogers, and today I'm here to talk to you about a very special mattress salesman to the city of Houston. That mattress salesman name is Mattress Mac. Mattress Mac is a Houstonian by heart, and he constantly gives back to the community. A really good example of all that he does for the community is his actions during the 2017 Hurricane Harvey incident, which devastated the city of Houston. Mac's an extraordinary fellow. My parents, all my family's in Houston. My parents got married there. I was born there before we moved to Ohio. And when they first bought their first starter home, my parents actually got furniture from Mattress Mac himself. So it's cool to know that even in Ohio, I've been touched by Mattress Mac. He is no stranger to hard times. He's had a very rough startup to his company. So when Hurricane Harvey hit, he was ready. He has been in numerous charities and has done plenty of charity work. So when it kind of stepped up to the plate, he was ready. And Mattress Mac continues to give back to the community. He always gives back to the community. And for the future, as long as he's in Houston, I'm sure he will continue to give back to the community. So I guess first let's talk about his rough start and upbringing to the Mattress Mac game. He and his wife lived in Fort Worth, Texas at the time in the 1980s. And he had just gotten laid off. He wanted to move somewhere. He wanted to start a new life over. And he took the last $5,000 out of his checking account and moved his wife from Fort Worth to Houston, Texas, and spent all that money on a lot to sell furniture and the furniture itself to put there. And he thought to himself, am I the one to supply furniture to Houston? And that answer was astoundingly yes, because he did the move and it paid off, because all of a sudden there were plenty of different immigrants in the city of Houston and also a lot of families that moved there. So Mac kind of had it on lock already. Moving forward to the 90s, the company was kind of on a downswing. Gallery Furniture had not seen the sales that it needed, and Mac was losing money. He had opened multiple stores, and they were bleeding really bad. So he, once again, took the last amount of money that he had, $10,000 out of the company's account, to purchase a commercial. He got 2 time slots for 2 local Houston stations, and when he showed up to the recording studio, he was actually really disappointed with the commercial. So he said, no, we're going to redo this. And he ad-libbed it all from scratch. And at the very end of the commercial he ad-libbed, he said, "Save you money." And that slogan was money. It became his most known slogan, and people knew him as the crazy mattress guy who would save you money, which is pretty wild. Moving on now to talk about his charity work, now that we've discussed his beginning of Gallery Furniture and how he became Mattress Mac. Mac is no stranger to hospitals and different types of diseases. His daughter had severe OCD, and she actually now runs, she's like the chief of medicine for Houston's hospital system for OCD treatment, which is really cool. But his brother had cardiac issues his entire life, and when Mac got into his 40s and his 50s, past the 90s and then into the early 2000s, Mac had finally had the money that he had to help treat his brother the correct way, and they got that treatment. And seeing the impact that getting the right help his brother needed showed Mac that he needed to get that for other people. So he helped the city of Houston by developing the first mobile stroke unit. So if anyone gets a call saying that they're having a heart attack, they'll send that unit out. Mac acts as a literal lifesaver to people having a heart attack, and that's really cool. Moving on to the actual hurricane itself, Houston is 80% concrete, so when it rains there's not a lot of place for the rain to go, so it flooded very rapidly and displaced a lot of families. Mac, having all these large gallery furniture stores, decided to put a lot of these families in the stores. Any of the families that were living in the stores at the time when they were displaced got free clothing, free food, and after all of it was done, Mac helped furnish a lot of those people's houses. Now that I've talked about what Mac did during the hurricane and what he's done, a little bit about his charity work, let's talk about his future and what he's doing now. With the current COVID-19 crisis pandemic going on, Mac has partnered with Kroger's and is doing delivery routes for elderly to make sure that the senior citizen population in Houston is taken care of. And that's really pretty awesome. So, to conclude my speech, I've talked about how Mac had quite the hard time getting it started, but he knew when the going gets tough, the tough gets going, and that's what he did. When he saw Hurricane Harvey rolled through, he knew he had to take care of Houston and the city he loved, and now in future pandemics, he is continuing to help. He knows that he can't just give up on Houston and that they'll always be there for them. Mac, to me, is a person that will always be there for the city of Houston and is someone that the city of Houston honestly doesn't deserve. He is just such a quality human being, and that's why I'm speaking about him. Thanks, Mattress Mac.